Hi, welcome to the Crafty Knit Twins YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to do the moss stitch. So today I'm going to be showing you how to do it in a straight line. I'll make another YouTube video to show you how to do it in a granny square. I've got a few projects with me today that show you how I've used this to create cardigans and both blankets in different techniques. So the first project I want to show you today is my granny square temperature blanket. This is using the moss stitch and you go round in a magic ring, round and round. So this is it. I haven't weaved in any ends, hence the messiness on the back. So this is a really nice and tight stitch, and it kind of involves going into the row below but in gaps, which creates this really nice tight intricate pattern. This I think a few people asked about temperature blankets. I think a lot of people know what they are, but this one is representing January where I live, and basically every round is a day. So I change kind of colours every single round, and using the moss stitch kind of go into the row before, but I'll show you how to do it. So my second project that I've made with the moss stitch is my granny square cardigan. So this isn't too hard, but it just involves a lot of repetitive kind of making the granny squares. So this is basically the same technique as using a granny square temperature blanket, but smaller squares. So again, you're starting out in the centre and just kind of going round and round and round. I can't remember how many I've made for this, but I'm going to make a pattern for it and then kind of join them all together, and that's kind of the second thing I've made. So the third project I've made with the moss stitch is another cardigan, but this is slightly different in the sense that it doesn't use a granny square, so you are using the moss stitch in a straight line. That's what I'm going to be showing you today, and there'll be a further video showing you going around in a circle, because they do involve slightly different techniques. So this is the cardigan. It's using chunky yarn, and there is a pattern on our Etsy for it. So yeah, like I said, a really tight stitch, but as you might be able to tell, it kind of goes into the row below. I'll be using this yarn to show you how to do this stitch. I think the chunky yarn just makes it a bit easier to see. And this, so the moss stitch is all the way up the top. You've got a ribbon on the side, and using the moss stitch for both the sleeve and the back. And yeah, it's a really, really nice stitch to do, and you can do so much with it. Let's get crafty. So for this one, we're going to be using a 7mm crochet hook, and the yarn we're going to be using is just some soft and chunky yarn in any colour you like. So first thing we're going to be doing today is creating a slip knot. I have a previous tutorial on how to do this, so if you want to look back on that to remind yourself, you can, but today I was doing it nice and quickly. So once you have your slip knot and then wrapped around your crochet hook, you're then going to be chaining 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So once you've got that 15 chain that you've done, you want a single crochet, and this is using American terms, into your third stitch from the top. So you're going to be counting 1, 2, 3, and then single crochet into that one. And that's your kind of starting chain. So from this single crochet, what you need to do is just chain 1, and then you want to skip the next stitch. So skip this one and go into that here and do another single crochet. And that's kind of the pattern that we're going to be repeating, just single crochet and chain 1. We're going to be doing that all the way to the end. Chain 1, skip, single crochet, 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 and you should, chain 1, be ending in that final stitch here. So once you kind of got to this point, you do that single crochet into that final stitch, and you don't need to chain 1 to finish that row. So that is your first row completed after your chain. So the way that I count more stitches is I count how many single crochets they are. So for this one, you've got 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which you'll have on the repeating side. So to do your next row, you want to turn your work, and then you want to chain 2. And the reason you're chaining 2 is because you want that kind of original chain to get that single crochet up, and then you're skipping this single crochet here. So you need a chain to kind of skip it. So the next thing I'm going to be working into are these chain 1 gaps. So you can see that gap there in between these 2 single crochets. So you can do a single crochet into that one. And then again, we're just repeating that kind of single crochet chain 1 pattern. So chain 1. So this, we're missing the actual stitch and going into the next chain 1 space. So another single crochet there, chain 1, skip the stitch, go into the chain 1 space, chain 1, skip that one into the chain 1 space, chain, skip that one and into the chain 1 space. And we'll just do this until the end of the row. Skip into that chain 1. So if you can count here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you want 7 on both sides. So that isn't your final one. It might look like it, but it isn't. So you want to chain 1 again, and that's your single crochet, and you want to go into that original kind of chain 1 space. It is quite hard to get into that stitch sometimes, but it is needed to kind of get that even sides on both. And then your next row, so row 3 will be exactly the same. So you turn it, and then chain 2, and then find that first chain 1 gap, which is right here, and that's where you first go into with a single crochet. Then chain 1, skip your stitch into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, skip this one into there, chain 1, skip the stitch into the chain 1 space, chain 1, skip the stitch into this one, skip the stitch into this one, chain 1, skip the stitch, and again that's final kind of gap there that you need to go into in order to create 7. What's really good is if you can kind of keep an eye on the number of stitches you have, and then always make sure you end up with the same, because it can be so deceiving sometimes to not go into that final stitch and think you've already finished that row when you haven't. So there we go. So now I've finished row 3, what I'm going to do is just a quick time lapse of me creating a few more, just so you can see how this moss stitch keeps on developing and how it kind of goes into the row below, and that's why it creates such a tight and nice stitch. So this is it completed after doing 12 rows. This is the size of the gauge for the Cozy and Chunky Cardigan. So 7 more stitches and then 12 rows up, and you can see it's a nice square. I always find the rows easier to count on a moss stitch just because they are offset slightly. So this is your kind of first row, second, third, fourth, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. And that's finishing on that 12th even row. Thank you for watching our moss stitch tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it and you learned how to do it. This is obviously how to do it in a straight line. I'll be doing another video how to make it on a granny square, and this will obviously mean you can do your temperature blanket using granny square, or you can complete a cardigan, kind of whatever you want. If any of you guys like these patterns, the Cozy and Chunky Cardigan is on our Etsy, and I'm hopefully trying to make a pattern for the granny square cardigan as well. Cool, thanks for watching, see you next time, bye.